We had turned the corner in Rwanda, but the same ideology that justified the genocide against the Tutsi is still alive and well in our region. And we see the same indifference from the wider world as in 1994. It's as if those expensive lessons are always lost, and we stare blindly as the same type of situation builds up again and again. Reconciliation is painful but necessary, and requires humility and confidence in equal measure. Most importantly, it requires dedicated leadership which reaches out to all elements of society. Reconciliation is an act of faith because it requires a leap of the imagination, a belief in the unseen, in a reality which all your senses tell you is impossible. It means envisioning a new nation, free of hatred and injustice, and turning that dream into fresh and spirit day by day. The function of leaders is to give people the trust to suspend disbelief for as long as it takes to transform the mindset of the next generation. Throughout this period, I constantly questioned myself. As Rwandans, we doubted ourselves. And for the rest of the world, Rwanda became a metaphor for the worst side of human nature. But Rwandans refuse to be defined by that. Leaders are there to absorb that pain and bear the weight of doubt, not to create more pain and use doubt as a weapon for political ends. This is also the reason why faith leaders were key partners in our effort to rebuild after the genocide. Reconciliation does not always mean resolution. In Rwanda, we do not all agree. The decision to forgive is ultimately a private act of each individual. But reconciliation does not mean that our society has committed itself. It does mean, reconciliation does mean, that our society has committed itself to never again go back to that dark past, no matter what. Healthy nations are those where we always strive to put the politics of unity and peace above all else, no matter how many times we fall short of that ideal. Joseph, as you recall, was sold into slavery in Egypt by his brothers. But he rose to the pinnacle of Egyptian society because of his integrity. As a result, he later found himself in a position to save Israel, including his brothers, from famine. It is the practice of reconciliation in matters large and small, which creates and recreates healthy nations and turns strangers and enemies into a family of citizens. We were even expected to repay the money the genocidal government had borrowed to purchase machetes and guns. The desire for retribution was huge. As the commander, to keep my own emotions in check, I had to order my officers at a certain point to stop showing me the mass graves. We could not allow people to take justice into their own hands. We had to break the cycle of violence and convert the urge for vengeance into a national program of unity and reconciliation. But reconciliation itself comes with a cost, which is why it is often so difficult to achieve. Hundreds of thousands of people deserved to go to jail for life or even hanged by any measure of justice. But we had to find a way to repair those people and make them part of society again. We abolished the death penalty. We therefore had to ask the survivors of genocide for the impossible in order to restore our nation, to swallow their anger and bitterness, to live together again with those who they had watched murder their loved ones as their own children flourished. I could not ask anything of the perpetrators. Only the survivors had something left to give: their forgiveness. We had turned the corner in Rwanda